Hello everybody, welcome back. I hope you all had a good summer. I know I did. Welcome to Christmas evening, or as I like to call it, the start of the Penguins NHL season. And what a wild opening night we had last night with Austin Matthews getting 4 goals, Connor McDavid getting 3 points, Jesse Puljujarvi getting his first NHL goal. I hope that tonight is just as good for the Penguins. Crosby's not playing, which is a huge loss, as we know. It's his 3rd concussion at least at the NHL level. And it's a bit worrying because he said that it occurred at practice and he just got tangled up, meaning that it wasn't something big, which is not a good sign. If he can get hurt from something not big, then that just shows that, his brain is really sensitive and it's only a matter of time before something big, a big hit, takes him out permanently, gives him really bad brain damage. Same goes for Chris Letang or Evgeny Malkin or Marc-Andre Fleury. The Penguins have had the worst injury luck, but those guys have had horrible problems when it comes to concussions. Letang's had 4 or 5 at the NHL level by my count that look like they could be concussion problem, concussion symptom, whatever, concussion-related injuries. So I really hope that he takes his time to come back from this carefully. I hope that the team is careful with him, based on his history. I hope the Penguins doctors don't mess up as badly as they did last time because they butchered his last injury and they have been pretty horrible the past few years when it comes to Penguins injuries. The whole mumps debacle 2 seasons ago, which was really weird, but they let players, go to the children's hospital when they had the mumps. They let Crosby continue in that game when he had the concussion. They let him play the next game. They let Letang fly in an airplane when he had a stroke. They've just been awful the past couple of seasons, so I really hope that they've learned from their lessons. Why they're still employed is beyond me, but anyways, I really hope that they have learned their lesson and that they will be very, very cautious of Crosby, because that is not someone that you want to rush back. And of course, you'd love to have him in the lineup. You'd love to have him on your team. The Penguins still have Malkin. They still have Kessel. They still have Hagelin. They still have Bonino. They still have Letang. They can win without Crosby. They have depth. They can survive a long-term injury to Sidney Crosby, and they would be okay. Obviously, it's not ideal, but they would be okay. So I don't want them, I hope they just don't go and do something stupid and try to rush him back, try to sign all these players, think that they need to replace him when they don't. Malkin will step it up. Malkin always steps it up when Crosby's injured. Crosby always steps up when Malkin's injured. And, as we know, the team is virtually intact, which is perfect. Really, the only difference is you're swapping out Brian Rust for Scott Wilson, but Brian Rust is on the verge of returning. It'll be interesting to see what happens when he gets back. How he's going to take Scott Wilson's spot, who I think is a similar player to Rust, but a lot of people seem to think that he's better than Rust. He has a more offensive upside, which is interesting. And then you have Connor Sheary, who's really turned it on, and then Tom Kuhnhackl, who I really like. And, of course, the D is all returning except for Ben Lovejoy, and that's fine because he was not great anyway. So it's, the Penguins were very lucky that they were able to retain most of their team. It's very exciting going into the season for sure. I have a really good feeling about this season. And Chris Letang, I also have a really good feeling about him. The way he finished last season, he just had a monster finish. I think if he continues that, if he stays healthy, which is a big if, I know, I think he could be finally Norris Trophy finalist again, because he was in 2013. He probably won't be because, in my opinion, he's very, very underrated. People don't give him enough credit. They don't realize how good he is defensively, when really he's excellent defensively, and he's paired with a guy in Brian Dumoulin who will be able to complement him defensively. And I think that Brian Dumoulin's really stepped up, and he is going to get paid this season. He's shaping up to be the Penguins' best young defenseman. Could be even better than Olli Mata. Derek Pouliot, we don't really know what we have him in yet because he has not played. It looks like he's going to be the 7th guy going in, which is a little bit unfortunate because I want to see him play. I want to see what he can do, and he looks a lot different. He slimmed down a lot. He cut his hair. I didn't even recognize him at training camp. So it sounds like he had a very productive summer. He worked out with Gary Roberts, who we know is a machine, and he really he trains a lot of guys. He really gets them in shape. Gary Roberts even started working out with Phil Kessel, and he got Kessel, to work out. So if he can get Kessel to work out, he can get anyone to work out. So I really hope that Derek Pouliot is just not sitting in the press box of the year because I really think that would hinder his development, and it really is. Now the season, he's 22, or he will be 20. Yeah, he's 22. Now really is the season for the Penguins to see what he can do. It is a boom bust year. It's about it. It's 4 years after he's drafted. It will be coming into the 5th year after he's drafted, and it's this time where we see if player is really going to make it or they're not. So I'm not quite sure how they're going to handle him. I don't like their handling him in the past. It sounds like he didn't have a great training camp, but he came a lot stronger and a lot healthier looking. So maybe they'll rotate him in with Schultz as the 6th, 7th guy. Maybe they'll trade Ian Cole because I think he's coming up to UFA this year, and they'll go with them as a bottom pairing, which could be a bit scary. But if they're getting sheltered minutes, I don't think it should be too bad. So I'll be interested to see where that goes. Mike Condon will be backing up Marc-Andre tonight. Initially, I had reservations about Condon because he's not a good goalie, and you saw that last year when Price went down. Montreal Canadiens just tanked, a whole bunch of other reasons, but goaltending was definitely a big reason. But he was playing like 30-plus games, more than that. Condon's not asked to play 30-plus games. He was playing 1, maybe 2, and I did want the Penguins to keep up Tristan Jarry to see what they had in him because he had an excellent training camp. Got 2 shutouts. Yes, they're in preseason, but it's still against NHL competition for the most part. But after giving it a few days, I can understand why they sent him down and why they got Condon off waivers. He's only had 1 full season of pro, and he showed a lot of fatigue toward the end of last season when Murray got called up, and he was forced to play a lot of games in Wilkes-Barre Scranton for the baby Penguins, and his save percentage suffered because of it, and he wasn't as good in playoffs, and they had an early exit. I think this year, with 1 season under his belt, he'll be more equipped to handle the pro. He'll be more equipped to play in the league. Remember, Matt Murray was in his 2nd full season of pro when he got called up. He didn't start with the Penguins right away last year. So I think that I'm sure Tristan Jarry will be back during the season once the Penguins trade Fleury, and he'll be back as Murray's backup. But I understand it makes more sense for him to be playing than to just be sitting on the bench for 1 or 2 games. It makes more sense for him to be playing down in Wilkes-Barre, get that extra development, because goalies do take a long time to develop. And at the end of the day, Mike Condon's only going to play 1 or 2 games. It's not going to hurt the team too much. He won't be Penguin for long because Matt Murray should be back soon, and the Penguins only have 1 game, back-to-back game in the month of October. So Fleury is going to see a lot of workload, a lot of action, which is good because he needs to get the rust out of his game. He's not played a competitive game in a while, since March or April. So that definitely makes sense, I think. And then when Murray gets back, who knows? I mean, we thought this would be Murray's net, but if Fleury plays really well, he could be the hot hand. But the Penguins will have to trade him for the trade deadline because with the expansion coming up, they're not going to lose Murray, and they have to protect Fleury if both are on the roster. So, but it's going to be a very interesting season with that little expansion in there. It's really going to force a lot of teams to trade guys. Like Ben Bishop will be traded from Tampa, and some other guys as well. So that's all I have for this video. Please like if you like, subscribe if you really like it, tell your friends, let me know your expectations in the box below. What do you think for the season? Who are you liking to win? I didn't do any predictions this year. I'm sorry, I'm really busy. So if I don't do any videos after every game, it's just because I'm in 4th year university or college, senior, and I have to write a 30-page paper, so I don't have too much time. So yeah, that's all. Bye for now.